Hello, welcome to 3.1. Chapter 3 is all about logic. All right, so we'll be talking about logic, logical symbolism, working our way into words and truth tables and all sorts of fun things in this chapter. Okay, so the first one we got to understand is a statement that we have here in this. A statement is either true or false, but not both. Okay, so we use sentences to talk with each other every single day. But when we have a statement in this chapter in logic, our statement must be either true or false. Okay, it cannot be both. All right, and when we go ahead and represent statements symbolically, okay, we're going to use letters. Usually we start with the letter P and they're lowercase, and Q, R, S, etc. Usually we're only going to be dealing with P, Q, and R, and usually in that order. Okay, so if we wanted to go ahead and represent the two statements below as a statement representation, if I have Elizabeth is the Queen of England, that one comes first, I'm going to call that my P. Okay, the next statement that Windsor Castle is lovely, I'm going to call that my Q. And if I had a third statement, that would be my R, etc. Okay? When we talk about negation of a statement, the negation of a statement changes its truth value. Okay? So if I had, let's say P, my statement P is Elizabeth is the Queen of England. If I wanted to go ahead and negate that, what I do is I put our negation symbol in the front. And this is called not P. Okay? So when we either have P and the negation is not P. And when we have not P, Elizabeth is the Queen of England, the negation of that would be Elizabeth is not the Queen of England. Okay? So pretty straightforward. Okay? So if I have the statement that July is not a month, and that would be my P, and I wanted to write my not P, right? Then July is not a month. If I wanted to write this in words, then this would be July is a month. Okay? And what you got to understand when we're talking about statements is it's either true or false. Saying July is not a month. You got to not think of these sometimes as a real term, per se, to where you could have a statement that, July is not a month. Well, we know July is a month, but the statement that we're given, we're calling that our starter. Okay? So not P is July is a month. It's just the opposite of the statement. It doesn't mean that statement in the real world is true or false. It is making a fact out of whatever is there. And sometimes it's really hard. You got to kind of roll with it a little bit. All right. So if I had another statement that says it is raining, and that's my P, then my not P would be it is not raining. Okay. So negation symbolically comes up all the time. Like I said, it's always the negation symbol, not P or not Q. It comes up in compound statements a lot, and we'll see that very shortly in the next section. But just kind of get used to the idea that a negation is going to happen. So last example on this kind of thing, and I have listening to classical music makes infants smarter. Okay? And I am asked to find my not P. Okay? That means that this statement is my P. And I need to write my not P in words because it's not given to me. You may be asked to pull it out of a string of multiple choice. Okay? So my not P in this case would be listening to classical music. That part is not going to change. Does not make infants smarter. Now, little word of warning in this section, this chapter in general, you do not want to cut corners when you're asked to write a statement in whatever format. In this case, it's negation. And usually we also do not shorten words. So we don't write don't or doesn't. We write the word does not. I do not try to cut corners on it. Do not, try to do anything different. If I use the word infants, I must continue to use the word infants, etc. I can't go ahead and shortchange it. And sometimes these statements will get a little long when we talk about compound statements. You've got to go ahead and write those statements out fully. All right. So let's go ahead and kind of wrap up this section and kind of talk about how we're going to express our statements. All right. So we have a list of words that go ahead and are quantifiers: all, some, no, none. Those are quantifiers. Okay, and one of those words that are in any statement is a quantified statement. Okay, so all, some, none, no, quantifiers. We have a quantified statement, and there's different ways to go ahead and write our quantified statements. Okay. If we have the word all pretty straight up, there are no A that are not B. So if all A are B, then we could say there are no A that are not B. And it's really, even though this is just first section, please take the time to look at the wording on how to express statements equivalently, because that's really going to help you. All right. And all poets are writers, or there are no poets that are not writers. So the wordier of the two will appear a lot more often as we go through here, as opposed to the shorter version of the same statement. Okay. Some A are B. There is at least one A that is B. Okay, so if some people are bigots, there is at least one person that is a bigot. Okay? If no A are B, then all of the things in A are not B. Okay? So some implies the existence of at least one. So there's at least one of those in the other. This implies that none of them are in the other. Okay? Some A are not B is not all A are B. So we're saying some people from the group A are not in the group B. So some students don't work hard, but not all students work hard. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that every student is going to work hard, and every student, some students work hard, some students don't. Okay? Negations of these statements get a little tricky. Okay? So if we have all A are B, then the negation is some A are not B, and it seems kind of contrary here. Okay? All people do not take exams honestly. Some people do not take exams honestly. So that all and that some comes in for the negation part of it. And if you want to go ahead and look at the wording here, here we have all A are not B. Okay? And then the some comes in this way. Some A are B, though, means no A are B. And it seems like it's good because they're kind of being tricky to you, but they're really not trying to be. So some roads are open, no roads are open. Okay, so it's a total shutdown of that fact. The the negations in the second column here are the equivalent of the statements in the first column. So let's look at this. All whales are mammals. Okay? So if I want to go ahead and use a quantifier in here. So my quantifier in this case would be some whales are not mammals. All right, so feel free to go ahead and work through some of the examples in the workbook. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next video.